Welcome to Tom's Top of 22, where we're counting down my top 10 movies of the year. Number 10. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Fun fact, I watched this for the first time 2 days before I was to be homeless for 2.5 months, and was in the middle of a breakdown about how the hell I was going to get my stuff from my house into storage. It's not especially relevant, but I thought it'd be interesting to know. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a lot of fun. Considering it predominantly takes place in the dark, it looks great. The phone torch and glow stick aesthetic is surprisingly really nice. The performances are all really fun, Lee Pace is hot, Maria Bakalova continues to be charismatic as hell, and Rachel Sennett is the queen of our hearts. Her monologue is maybe the monologue of the year.
Your parents are upper middle class.
No, they're not.
Jordan, they are. They teach at a university.
It's public.
Number 9. X. We're in an age of sexlessness in movies, and as Puritanism rages across the worlds of film discourse for some bizarre reason, it's refreshing to see a film that's so explicitly about horniness. I'll use up a sentence here just to say that I love the opening shot and the way it uses the barn door to extend out the frame from what looks like a 4x3 frame. I continue to be frustrated that Pearl isn't releasing in the UK until March, and I can only hope that Maxine gets a speedier release. Also, every single word out of Brittany Snow's mouth is perfection, a great bit of casting, and 2022 really is the year of Jenna Ortega's horror supremacy, so that's fun.
You know, if you tilt the camera up from the nozzle, it'll look like he's using his cock.
Number 8. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. Matilda the Musical was already my number 1 most listened to album of the year before the movie came out, with the movie soundtrack later slipping in at the last minute at number 5, so yeah, I was very much ready to love this. And whilst it may not have lived up to the movie that played in my head when listening to the soundtrack, and whilst it is missing my favourite song in Loud, it's still a breath of fresh air for musicals. Hopefully gone are the Tom Hooper and Dear Evan Hansen days of boring close-ups for all musical sequences. Instead, we have proper theatrical musical sequences thanks to director Matthew Warchus, who directed the original stage production. And it's all performed by children, and damn, that's one way to make me feel inadequate.
Pictures on the wall, it's not in something we're revolting. We can SB out how we like. If enough of us are wrong is right. Everyone Norty. We're a little bit naughty.
Number 7. The Bob's Burgers movie. With Bob's Burgers being one of my favourite TV shows generally, I was primed to love this movie from the off, and it didn't disappoint me. It's pretty much a perfect encapsulation of the show in feature-length form, and that's pretty much all you can ask for. The songs are wonderful, and you can tell I mean that because Bob's Burgers was my most listened to artist of last year, tracks from the film were my 6th and 7th most listened to songs, and the soundtrack as a whole was my 3rd most listened to album, frustratingly underneath fucking Glee of all things. And to top it all off, it even makes me all mushy and emotional towards the end. I saw this 3 times in cinemas and twice at home since then. I just loved it.
Hi, we're looking for Mickey.
Mickey?
Yeah, Mickey. Brown hair, used to rob banks. Nice guy, works here now.
No, I know Mickey. He owes me $3.75.
Dollars?
And 75.
Cents?
Yeah.
Where's he working today? Screamer King?
He's off till second shift.
Do you know where he lives? We could probably remind him about the 375.
Number 6. Nope. Jordan Peele developing his craft has been fascinating to watch, as the scope of his projects grows larger over the course of his career thus far, with Nope going into full IMAX spectacle. And what a spectacle. I'm so damn happy I saw this in IMAX the first time I saw it, because it's an experience in that format. Keke Palmer is a delight and endlessly fun to watch. Likewise with Steven Yeun, whose SNL monologue is up there for monologue of the year, even if it does feature some stiff competition from Rachel Sennett. The cinematography is phenomenal, the day for night stuff is wild, and the creature design is a big ol' chef's kiss. 2022 had some great third acts, and Nope's third act is one of the best of them.
You ready? Oh, come on, that ain't nothing. Are you ready? Here we go.
Number 5. Aftersun. A frankly immaculate piece of work and a stunning debut from Charlotte Wells. I am over the moon that Paul Mescal is getting recognised at the Oscars, even if it is just a nomination. Though I think Frankie Corio also deserves recognition here. This is a true two-hander, and both roles feel so real and deep and naturalistic. The way Charlotte Wells and her cinematographer Gregory Oak block and frame shots throughout, as well as making incredible use of reflection and DV camera footage, is endlessly fascinating, and just a really nice piece of work. The way the film just manages to innately get at a feeling of melancholy and despair bubbling under the surface is incredible, and leaves you sitting with it for a good while after seeing it.
Why don't you go over and introduce yourself?
Dad, no, they're like kids.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go over and introduce yourself?
Sophie, they're like old.
Number 4. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. If I stand anyone, I stand Paddington. But after him, I stand Baby. But after him, I stand Rian Johnson. The original Knives Out was my favourite film of 2019, so he's slipping down the rankings here, but his filmography is a fascinating string of some absolute bangers and some of my favourite movies in general, so it was unsurprising to me that this ended up on the list. I'm so glad I saw this twice in the cinema when it released for a week, and I feel bad for anyone who didn't get that chance, because it's such a crowd pleaser. Jessica Henwick and Kate Hudson killed my audiences both times. It's a hella fun time. Watch it.
What are we wearing?
What do you mean? What do you want?
No, nothing. I just thought maybe there was a prize or something. An iPad or like.
Number 3. Top Gun Maverick. I hadn't watched the original Top Gun before the same day I watched Top Gun Maverick for the first time. I didn't especially care for it, but goddamn did Maverick woo me immediately. It's a film which so clearly sets up the stakes and objectives of its major set pieces to such an insane degree that you know exactly what's going on at all times in every shot, which is a wild feat to pull off for an aerial combat-based film. What the entire creative team did here is astounding, and the final act is insanely nail-biting. It's not often that the phrase edge of your seat is so terrifyingly apt, but that is where I am sat every time I have seen it thus far. It's the good stuff.
You really don't get it. On this mission, a man flies like Maverick here, or a man does not come back. No offense intended.
Yet somehow, you always manage.
Number 2. RRR. Watching RRR feels like taking a pure shot of cinema directly into your bloodstream. Maximalist in all the best ways. RRR is kind of everything. It's a big action movie, it's a musical, it's a rom-com briefly, and not a day goes by that I don't curse myself for missing this in the cinemas. It's the kind of movie that introduces a main character with this kind of shot, before that character fights a tiger with his bare hands. It's also a movie that features the insanity of the Naatu Naatu sequence. And it's also a movie in which the characters use grenade-tipped arrows and wield motorbikes as weapons against the British Empire. And if there's one truth in this world, it's that there's no greater feeling than seeing the British get brutalized. Honourable mention: The Electrical Life of Louis Wain. Just for a brief intermission, let's have an honourable mention. In the slew of biopics we get year after year, so many of them end up feeling stale and corporate, which feels like a shame for biopics of artists specifically, whose own specific artistic voice gets lost in the formula. Not so here, as from vibes alone, Louis Wain feels wholly its own, and feels of a piece with the artist whose story it tells.
Is something funny, Mr. Wain?
Not at all. Not at all.
Number 1. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I mean, obviously, this is number 1. It was number 1 as soon as I saw it back in May. I loved Daniel's previous films Swiss Army Man, and in general, just really admire their vibe. Everyone is on top form here. Michelle Yeoh obviously shines bright. I'm so happy to see Ke Huy Quan get rightfully recognised across the board. Likewise for Stephanie Hsu, who finally got the nomination she deserves at the Oscars after so many snubs. The film looks and sounds great, it's funny as hell, and hits you right in the gut. Great film, and easily my favourite of the year. Where, though, is the physical release in the UK A24? I don't want to have to be stuck with the streaming quality of Amazon Prime to be my only real option to watch in the UK from now on.
Oh, stop!
Wow! Hi, Dad.